Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizer of International Conference on Communication Management and Humanities, ICCOMAH 2020 for giving me this opportunity to present in this conference. I am Liana Nafisa binti Abdul Wahab, an undergraduate student from University Technology Mara UITM campus Puncak Alam and Faculty Business and Management, taking the course in Bachelor of System and Management. So today I would like to present to you about my topic, knowledge management practices and green innovation among academicians and empirical evidence of public university. So as seen in the slide, this is a presentation outline. Step 1 is introduction. Step 2, problem statement. Step 3, research objective. Step 4, research question. Step 5, limitation of study. Step 6, literature review. Step 7, methodology. Step 8, findings. Step 9, recommendation. And last but not least, recommendation for future research for step 10. Moving on to the introduction. So knowledge is stated as one of the key factors of innovation. Without knowledge, there is no innovation. And even though there's a lot of technical knowledge of green innovation, the knowledge of implementing these green innovation is still far behind, according to OECD 2000. Moreover, Porter 1995 and Reynolds 1998 already stated that green innovation is different from normal innovation. So what is green innovation? Green innovation is mean through which firms eliminate or minimize the negative impact of their operation on the environment, according to Fernando et al. 2019. It is the invention in products, processes, technology, and management structure which aims to protect the natural environment by Li et al. 2017. The aim of green process innovation is to bring improvements in production processes through which raw material is converted into a usable product, according to Albert Moran et al. 2016. Moving on to problem statement. The first one is the innovation and green organization still less practiced in Malaysia. In addition, it is also not well known what are the necessary firms' capability that facilitate green innovation adoption. Next, internal and external contributing factors in isolation. Thus, the complexity and interconnectedness of environmental issue in green innovation is not fully grasped. This is why Chill and Tsai 2005, Clements and Douglas 2006, Colwell and Joshi 2013. And last but not least, for the problem statement is current perspective of green innovation has to be focused on how to do it successfully rather than to debate on whether it pays to be green. This is according to Yedet et al. 2008, Orsato 2006, and Walkiner 2007. Moving on to research objective. The objective of this study is to examine the relationship between knowledge management practices and green innovation practices. Next, read the research question. So the first one to see is there any relationship between knowledge creation and green innovation practices? Second, is there any relationship between knowledge acquisition and green innovation practices? Next, is there any relationship between knowledge sharing and green innovation practices? And last but not least, is there any relationship between knowledge application and green innovation practices? Next, moving on to the literature review. So knowledge management practices. Knowledge, which could be defined as knowledge is an abstract concept that is free from the tangible world and has two forms, namely explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge, according to Polisany and Bertiano 2018. So knowledge management practices have 4 elements, which are namely knowledge creation, acquisition, sharing, and also application. So green innovation practices. So what is green innovation practices? Green innovation practices are a means through which firms eliminate or minimize the negative impact of their operation on the environment, according to Fernando et al. 2019. This is also the same as mentioned in the introduction earlier. So moving on to the 4 variables. So the first one is knowledge creation. Knowledge creation is the result of interaction between knowledge and the act of knowing, which is done through action, practice, and interacting with people, according to Mara, Wilhas, and Martin 2019. In addition, for knowledge acquisition refers to the organizational activities to acquire, extract, and organize knowledge from different sources. This is according to Atia and Salama 2018. Next, for knowledge sharing is the process through which explicit or tacit knowledge is communicated to an individual or group of people. This is according to Baijarahi 2018. And last but not least, according to Morty et al. 2017, said that knowledge application is the use of integration of acquired knowledge in designing or delivering organizational products and services. Next is the conceptual framework. As you can see, the independent variables is adapted by Abbas 2019, where the knowledge management practices has 4 elements in it, where knowledge creation, knowledge acquisition, knowledge sharing, and knowledge application, whereby for the dependent variable is adapted by Al-Khalsa 2019, which is green innovation practices. So next, for the hypothesis, the H1, knowledge creation positivity influence green innovation practices. So H2, knowledge acquisition positivity influence green innovation practices. H3, knowledge sharing positivity influences green innovation practices. And last but not least, for the hypothesis, knowledge application positivity influence green innovation practices. So this is methodology for the research, where the population is by academician in high institution located in Klang Valley. Next, the research design is a correlational research. And next, sampling technique is companion sampling. Next, data collected is from 150 respondents. And next, instrument is a survey questionnaire adapted from previous study. And last but not least, data analysis is SPSS version 26 data regression. So this is the result. As you can see, this is the reliability analysis. According to the table, knowledge management practices KMP have the highest Chromebook alpha with 0.938. Thus, this explains the respondents understand what is the question is all about. Next, moving on to the normality analysis, the result of the normality test indicated that the value were within cutoff plus minus 2 for the squeamish and plus minus 7 for the KTCs. So the previous study, Hare et al. 2010 and Brian 2010 argue that only plus minus 2 for skewness and plus minus 7 for KTCs is considered normal. So this describes that all items of the research should be considered normally distributed. Next. So this is the results and findings. As you can see, for the hypothesis 1, knowledge creation positivity influence green innovation practices. The amount of beta for knowledge creation is B, 0.281, and the significant value is 0.001, equal to 0.1%, which below the p-value, which considered significant. Next, knowledge acquisition influences green innovation practices. As you can see, the amount of beta for knowledge acquisition is beta 0.343, and the significant value is 0.000, equal to 0.0%, which also considered as significance. Next, let's see for the hypothesis 3. Knowledge sharing positivity influence green innovation. Why? The amount of beta for knowledge sharing is B 0.340, and the significant value is 0.000, equal to 0%, which is below the p-value, which is significant. Moving on to less variable is knowledge application positivity influences green innovation. As you can see in the table, the amount of data for knowledge application is B 0.379 and the significant value is 0.000 equal to 0.0%, which below the p-value also considered as significant respectively. Next, to summary of the hypothesis, all variables have the positive significant relationship, thus the relationship is accepted. Next, for the discussion, these studies show that positive significant relationship between knowledge management practices variable such as knowledge creation, knowledge acquisition, knowledge sharing, and knowledge application with green innovation practices. Knowledge creation is perceived as one of the major asset of innovative organization. This is according to Merck's Chermin M and Nitschnoff WJ 2005. Lastly, organizations should focus to develop and strengthen knowledge management practices to achieve either one of these two objectives, namely to improve efficiency and improve innovation. Moving on to the recommendation for organization. The first one is the organization should encourage knowledge creation, knowledge acquisition, knowledge sharing, and knowledge application among employees to increase the productivity in the organization towards the green innovation. Next, for the second, the organization should develop policy and make appropriate investment in knowledge management system. For future research, the first recommendation using different method of data collecting is that the first one is by using different method of data collecting where such as interview via telecommunicating. So the researcher can get more information and accurate information from the respondent beside the researcher. Also can ask question directly and can get information from the respondent whether the question is intentionally asked or unintentionally. So next, the variety of instrument use. Could be the future researchers should use Google Form more often. Also use by using social media such as Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, or Instagram that have polls so the respondent can vote. So this would be much easier since the social media is near to the respondent nowadays. So next is conduct research with different variable. So I would like to suggest that the next variable would be the employees' cooperation and employees' performance towards green innovation practices. So next, for the conclusion, to conclude that knowledge management is crucial, which will reduce cost of inefficiency by making company knowledge more available, accessible, and accurate. Thus, if everyone in the organization have effective knowledge management, it will reduce employee to make mistake or repeat the same mistakes all over again. So that is it. So thank you very much.